So another one of those shocker statements here real quick. I'm not a big believer in cash flow being the main reason to build a passive portfolio. I'm going to tell you that cash flow is important, absolutely. You want to be on the positive side rather than on the negative side. But it doesn't mean that a negative cash flow investment is a bad one. That's one of the things that we as investors have to get out of our minds, that there's only one way to invest or only one reason to invest. I'm a big believer in net worth being the reason that we want to invest early on and the reason why we want to build a portfolio. Now, combine that with making a positive cash flow and you've got the best reason to build a portfolio. But if you're only looking for positive cash flow, you will make mistakes. You will buy inexpensive, cheaper properties, riskier properties. If you're only looking for cash flow, oftentimes one of the things that we confuse is what's a good investment versus a bad investment. This one makes more cash flow, this one makes less. But in the end, when you really dig into the details of the two investments, the one that builds your net worth while providing a positive cash flow, that is going to be your best investment. I'm a big believer in buying the best property you can buy, especially right now in this environment. I believe in buying the best investment because everything is more expensive today. So I don't want to buy a property that was $20,000, $30,000 a few years ago for $50,000, $60,000 just because I still feel it's cheap. That makes no sense as an investor. I want to buy not necessarily the more expensive property, but I want to buy the property at the upper end of the price range, wherever it is I'm buying. I want a positive cash flow, but I'd much rather acquire the best property, the biggest value that I can, especially if I'm going to use any type of leverage going into the future. Because leverage will allow me some years down the road to have $1 million portfolio that I spent a couple of $100,000 developing. That's big for me. The bigger the property, the bigger the payoff when it is owned free and clear. And that should be our goal. So the cash flow today is important, absolutely. Absolutely, don't get me wrong. But more important than cash flow to me is building my net worth, acquiring the best assets possible, and allowing those assets to pay me back over time. That's where I'll have the biggest bang for my buck today building my portfolio.